This is supposed to be an overview or a basic guide on Focus 2.0. And the focus system is very complicated and hard to understand for new players. Many of the skill descriptions are just plain wrong or misleading, and there's no way for players to preview skills before they buy them. So I thought I would help you make an informed choice when you upgrade your focus tree. And Focus 2.0 has been out for a while now, and there have been 15 patches since its release, and so far nothing has been changed nor fixed regarding the focus system. So at this point I am assuming that everything is working as intended, whatever that means. It's DE we are talking about here. So yeah, focus system is still somewhat broken and imbalanced. There are 5 schools you can choose from, and each school has only 2 skills that affect normal gameplay, that affect your Warframe gameplay. All of the other skills are for operator only. So since gameplay is like more than 99% Warframe gameplay and less than 1% operator gameplay, all the other skills are kinda less important. So you should base your choice of school on the 2 important skills of each focus school. And then each school also has 2 waybound skills that can be unbound. So you can use those in a different school at a very high cost. And so starting with Naramon, the 2 skills that actually affect your normal gameplay are in Affinity Spike and Power Spike. And Affinity Spike, from my testing, only gives you 22% EXP, not 45, so this is false advertising. And also it does not increase the EXP you get from the kill. The skill is kind of shit and doesn't work as advertised. And then there's Power Spike, and this only affects the melee counter decay, so this is only interesting for people who play melee only and have like Blood Rush builds with the Acolyte mods, so it's a very small percentage of players who will benefit from this. So overall this school is too specific and not really that good. The next one is Mandarai, and here you have Phoenix Talons and Phoenix Spirit, and those also do not work as advertised. I tested this with multiple things like weapons, rifles, and also the Warframe weapons like Titania and Ivara's bow. And if you have both of these skills fully maxed out, you get a total damage increase of 13%, not 25%. These are trash. I consider Mandarai trash. It's not worth it. The next one is Yonairu. And here you have Void Spines and Stone Skin. Void Spines doesn't really do anything for you, because enemies have way more hit points than you, so if you reflect a few % of their damage, you will in the end not even scratch their health bar, so this might as well not exist. And Stone Skin was already useless in Focus 1.0 because of the way it was implemented. So for example, for Loki, if you had 15 base armor and you had this skill, it would increase base armor by 2, so that it was less than 1% damage resistance. Absolutely useless, and I highly doubt it's different now, because knowing DE, all they do is copy and paste. So this is probably completely useless. So Yonairu is utterly useless, might as well not exist. And the next one is Vazarin. And here the skills are Mending Unity and Mending Soul. Mending Unity increases your XP radius, where you get shared EXP from teammates, and also increases the radius of Trinity's Blessing. So on average you get more EXP, so this is useful for weapon leveling and focus farm if you play in a party. And the other skill is Mending Soul, and this is pretty shit, because it only works once per mission. So if you're intending to play a really long survival or really long defense, by the time you really need to instantly revive someone because the enemies are so powerful, by that time you have already used your free revives, so it's completely pointless. And then there's the Zenurik, and here you have Energy Pulse and Energizing Dash. Energy Pulse gives you a little extra energy for each pickup that you find. And then there's Energizing Dash, which is, I think, the most useful ability of all the focus skills, because you always need energy, and this gives you and your teammates a lot of extra energy. So, a quick recap. Naramon is too specific. Mandarai is pretty trash. Unairo might as well not exist. Vazarin gives you a little extra XP, good for leveling. And Zenurik gives free energy to you and your teammates, very useful. So once you have decided on a skill, you can unbind other skills from other schools and use them. So next I'm giving you a quick overview over those. Naramon offers Mind Step and Mind Sprint. Mind Step increases the overall speed of the operator and is quite useful, because by default the operator is just so slow, like the feet are chained together or something. So with Mind Step it becomes less frustrating to play as the operator. And the other skill is Mind Sprint, which is quite expensive. And what it does is it increases the teleport distance. So instead of like 12 meters, you can teleport 28 meters. So that is quite useful for moving fast through the map. On Mandarai you have Inner Gaze and Eternal Gaze, and Inner Gaze increases your magazine capacity by 40%. This is very useful. Eternal Gaze is quite expensive and doesn't do that much for you. If you're using, for example, the Yutni Brace in your amp, you don't really need this, you can skip this. Unairo offers Basilisk Scales and Basilisk Gaze. The Scales is quite weak. It says here it increases the armor by 200%, but what this actually means is your survivability, your effective health, increases by 13% for the base operator. You can boost this a little bit by using the super expensive Magus Husk Arcane, but even then the skill is still really weak. And the other one, Basilisk Gaze, increases the radius of Void Blast, which is a short range crowd control attack that knocks enemies off their feet. And this will increase the length of the cone from 3.2 meters to 5.0 meters. So it is an upgrade, but nobody ever uses Void Blast, so yeah. And then there's Vazarin. Here you have Enduring Tides, and it multiplies all of the health you have by 2.5, so using this you can get 1625 hit points as the operator, so this is one of the best skills. And then there's Rejuvenating Tides, and this basically does nothing. Fully upgraded, this heals you by 4 health per second and if you have 1625 and all punishment you get for dying is not being able to play as the operator for 3 seconds, this is really utterly useless. This skill is... I don't know who the fuck made this focus system. And last is Zenurik. Zenurik has Void Siphon and Void Flow, and the energy regeneration is not really that important, doesn't help you much. Void Flow increases the overall energy you have for invisibility, invulnerability and teleporting. But by default, invisibility doesn't drain too much energy, so this is only useful for teleportation. And I would recommend you upgrade Mind Sprint first to give you a proper teleportation, and then upgrade your energy for teleportation, not the other way around. So let's say you picked Zenurik as your main school. Good choice. Now, in which order should you upgrade the skills? You should start and go right for Energizing Dash. Ignore Energy Pulse at first and fully upgrade Energizing Dash. This will give you a lot of energy and also benefits your team. You can upgrade Energy Pulse after that. And then you should go and unlock Void Siphon and Void Flow, but do not upgrade these yet. They're useful later on, but you should get improved teleportation first before you upgrade Void Flow. So once you have these, you should put all your points into pool, increase your capacity so that you can add other skills from other schools to Zenurik. So you have to branch out and go to other schools to unlock the waybound skills. And the best ones to go for first are Inner Gaze for the increased magazine capacity. This helps a lot. And Enduring Tides gives you a huge survivability boost. So this is one of the most important, and those two are also quite cheap. They do not cost as much as others. After that you can go for Mind Step. This will make your operator move faster, which is very helpful. Makes it less of a pain in the ass to play as the operator. And after that there's not much useful stuff. You can use Mind Sprint to improve the teleportation and make traveling over large distances much quicker, but it's very expensive to upgrade. And then there is Basilisk Scales, which is pretty weak, quite weak, so leave this for last. And then Zenurik also offers Inner Might, which decreases energy cost for melee channeling, which is only useful for stealth melee combat. And it's quite expensive to upgrade, so ignore that. And the last important ability is Temporal Blast. This is an enhancement for Void Blast, the short range crowd control attack. And this will slow the animation of enemies for a few seconds, so if they usually get knocked down for 3.5 seconds, you can increase that duration, so the knockdown takes 6 seconds or longer due to the slowed animation. So this can be useful to crowd control enemies as the operator. So what does gameplay with a fully upgraded operator look like?
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
To prepare!